Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So in this video, as I've mentioned in the thumbnail, we are going to see a small use case, how we can use the data service when there are two different entities. So in previous example, we have seen how in the previous videos example, I have portrayed how we can update the employee details data with the help of data that's there in the projects, right? So that's one way of doing. So here, if you see, I already have the projects information in my projects entity. So I'm not going to create an entity here, which I have done from the previous video. But here, this is another way of doing it. So I already have the information. So just consider this is like a template. Okay, so I'm having all the information. So let's consider a use case wherein a project manager has to assign the project so to all the employees. So let's say these are all the employees in my company. What I have to do, I have to assign a project to each of the employee that is there in my sheet, and each of the employees should be assigned to each of the project. Okay, so it has to run in that way. So basically there are two different types of information, and how these entities are related. If you go to employee details, here I'm going to see the current project, right? So each employee should be linked to one project. That's the criteria here. So let's see how we can do that. Before to that, I hope this is clear for you. Let me show you this notepad. So we have two entities, project names and the employee details. So this name of the project is related to current project field, and it's of type relationship. So let's see how we can proceed with this workflow. I am going to create a workflow right from the scratch. So, oh, I'm sorry, I just clicked on run. Let me stop this. Auto design. So if you have seen the previous videos, you might be clear with two different entities and what are the fields and what we have done in the previous video. So if you are in this video for the first time on my channel, so I would suggest you please do watch the previous videos. That will give you good understanding of data service. So I'm going to create the use case to assign project to employees. Okay, to assign project. Yes, it got created. So the first and the foremost rule, pull in the variables into the variables panel. So first let me create the scope. Employee details, I want project names, right? So create employee details, and then project name. Fine. So after that, what we have to do, we just have to use initialization. So I'm going to create an variable. Okay, let's use the existing variable. Okay, employee details, new, and then employee details is my type of the variable. So it has to be of this type. And next step is, I have seen something else here. Let's delete it. So the other one is project name. Project names. Okay, so clear, right? We have as it did the initialization. So after this, what I'm going to do, I have to get all the values, all the project values from the project names. So for that, what I can use, there's an activity called query entity records. Okay, so I'm going to query from which table, from which entity I wanted to do the query. Project names, right? That's where my name of the project lies. So I'm going to get the field value, which is name of the project, right? Whenever it's not an empty. So it is not, if it's not empty, then I want all the values. So all these values I am going to store it in a output record. So let's give this is basically a list. Okay, so all projects or list of all projects. Okay, so you can just provide in that way. So if you just check the value, it's list of all projects. So what it actually does, all projects will fetch it will do a query operation when there is a name of the project. If it's not empty, it's gonna fetch all the project names and it's gonna save it in this particular list. So if you wanted to see, let me show you how this actually looks like. Skip a breakpoint here. Debug. So we have seen how many projects are there, 7 projects are there totally. So all projects should contains the list of all the projects under the name of project field. So it has started the execution and we can see that the process has started running. Okay, okay, no problem. This Excel is still open because I'm not using it right now, so it don't throw an error. So all projects. Perfect, right? We've got all the projects information, right? So there are totally 7 projects. So we can see all the information. So let's say this is the name of the project is UiPath project, right? So in the same way, all the projects would be listed out over here. BB project, AA project, and then Pega project. We have RPA, UiPath, whatever is there under that particular field, we've retrieved all the items. Perfect, right? So let's continue to the next step. What is the next step? After I fetch the project details, I wanted to assign it. So to assign, what I should do, I should first read my Excel sheet. Okay. Let's read the Excel sheet from here, employee details. Okay, and give a name, data table name. Okay, perfect. So after this, what I'm going to do, let's assign. Let's do an assignment, multiple assign. Okay, so let's pull this. So what exactly I'm doing, before to multiple assign, so let's do one thing. So I have my all the information about employees in the employee table. So what I have to do, for each value inside this employee table, I have to do an assignment. So for that, I will take for each row and just drop this here. So for each row inside this employee data table. Okay, so inside this data table, what we are doing an assignment for employee details entity. So employee details dot, we wanted to provide the name for employee name, right? So how we can do that? Just the normal procedure, how we take this, just take this information and then copy it over here. Right, in the same way, make sure you give it for employee details dot, what is the next field? Employee ID. And one more important thing what you have to keep in mind over here is the data type. Usually we will get the data type mismatch, so you make sure whatever the data type that you are providing here must be in sync with the value fields data type. Okay, so this employee ID is of type integer, so you have to make sure that this is in integer type. So let me show you how this will throw a warning. Right, so it is string to decimal. So I'm just trying to change this to decimal dot parse. Right, Now the exception is gone. And now what's the next field? So in the same way, what is yes or no? So this is a Boolean type, right? So how we can convert this? So employee details dot current employee. So here, if you see, my Excel information contains yes or no, right? So what I'm going to do here, let's copy this field value and then just paste it over here. Dot toString. Okay, so if this value is yes, how can I do? If this contains yes, then what I'm going to do, take an if condition, then it's a true, correct? Otherwise it's a false. Just that's it, and this should work. Okay, we have run out of the warning. And what's the next field? It's employed from. Basically this should be of date time, right? So let's go with that dot employed from. Sorry. Employed from. Okay, so this value should be so here if you see, it's clearly showing date time, so it should be of date time only. So let's take date dot parse the value, then say okay. So we are good with this. And what is the next field? Appraisal band. Just take this as well and then just pass this. I don't think I have it in my field. Let me just check it. Okay, I am not having that in my fields. I have deleted it for some reason. So let's not take it. Let's ignore this. Okay, so that's all. We have created all the values. So we have make sure while creating it's of the type text, it's of type decimal, it's of type boolean, and it's of type date. And now the one major thing that we are left out with, relationship, right? So how we are going to add this value? Okay, how we are going to assign this value into our relationship field? So what is the relationship field that we have over here? Current project. It is in relationship with name of the project field of project names entity. Okay, so I have collected all the information and I kept it in all project, which you have seen. So now what I'm going to do here, I just add it one more field and then provide employee details dot current project. So here my all project contains all the information about the project. So here if I take 0 at that particular run, it will be the first project what is there, UiPath project, right? So that project will be assigned in the next run also. If it should be incremented to 1, right? So let's build a logic here. So for building it, what I'm doing is take a variable project counter. This should be project counter plus 1. Just change the type to integer. So let's give a default value also to 0. So what happened? Let's pass this value here, which is project counter. Okay, so the first time it will be 0. So all projects value of 0 will be UiPath project. Okay, the next one will be incremented to all projects of 1, all projects of 2, all projects of 3. So like that, it keeps on incrementing and the value will be added. So like that, we can assign the project name from which is in relationship with project names entity to the employee details entity. So this is how we can relate and we can assign the values which are in relationship type. And now going forward, what I'm going to do here, after doing we are just assign till now we have just done assignment. So in order to create the entities, we all know that we have to use create entity record. So just pass that over here. And now I have to create records for which entity? Employee details. And I should pass employee details and output. Let's just be in the same because I'm not going to use it further as of now. So what happens exactly here? It's gonna create the entities for each row item. So for each row item means for each employee, along with the details that are over here in my Excel, I'm going to assign a project. So let's see how this actually happens. Before to that, I'm just closing this Excel. So we have 7 items, 7 line items and the 7 projects. So everything has to be assigned in synchronous with the data that's there in the project names. So let's close this. So some warning is there. Let's check what it is. Where exactly this is happening. Okay, let's debug and then we can get it in validation. Okay. What is this? It's okay. Where is this expression? Is it there in multiple assign or somewhere? Let me check where this value is exactly causing the issue. Did I add something anywhere? Okay, I'm not getting it exactly where exactly it's wrong. So let's do a check. Okay. So it's not in the for each. Let's close this off. Where exactly is this issue? Um, I'm thinking this would be mostly in the case of multiple assign. Mhm. Okay, let me take this over and see what this issue is exactly. I think I need some time to check this over because I'm not able to find out where exactly this issue is coming from. Okay, I just have seen that this is here in the assignment, the default value which I've given. So that was causing an issue. Apart from that, whatever the code we've written is good. So let's just execute this and see if we can create the records in the entity. So before do that, let's go and clear this off, the existing records. And also we know that how to create a unique records also with respect to a particular field. I have clearly explained in the previous videos. If you want any requirement in your project of that sort, you can check out that video. So let's debug this. Let me put a breakpoint here for creating entity here. Okay, the project has started the execution, and it should actually pull out all the details from the projects, name of the projects that's there in the project names. So once after that's done, it will take the details from the employee details, and then it will go and assign. So now we are here. That means we've got all the details. So let's first check in and see what is there in the employee details. Okay, so if you see, we've got all the information of that particular employee. So now we are interested to check what is there in 0th one, right? So we can see that the project is of UiPath project, right? So this should be assigned against that particular employee. So now I'm going to hit continue, and we can see the records being created here. So let's refresh, not here, go to employee details, data. Yes, we can see it has got the information from Excel. These are the details from Excel, and this is the project detail that is in relationship with name of the project, correct? So this is perfect. And now let's execute for rest of the records. I'm taking off the breakpoint. Ended. So we should get all the records here, 7 records, right? So we can see Monica, Chandler, Joy, Rachel, Ross, Harika, and Adam, right? And these are the projects against that particular employee. UiPath project, A project, BP project, Pega, and everything. And also the employee IDs, whatever I have given in the Excel sheet, and all these fields are from Excel sheet. So this is perfect. We could able to create the relationship records that are in relationship with the different entity fields. So I think this is clear for you. If you have any questions, do try it out with the information that you have in hand, and do let me know if you face any questions, especially with the relationship, because whenever we are trying to do something between two different data tables, obviously we will try to face some issues, and this is one such that I have come across, and this is one of the way of handling it, and the other way is I have shown in the previous video. So you can just try it out, both of them, and let me know which one you liked it, and maybe the reason why also. And in the next video I'll try to see more we'll try to concentrate to see more activities of the data service and how we can use them. So to not miss any of the videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also do like my videos. Thank you so much for watching.